Welcome back, everyone. Your loyal Captain Gear 100 has returned yet again for another video for you guys today. And today, guys, we're here to finally remake this original idea that I had. Now, okay, if you guys look this up on YouTube, there might be one video on it, but it's only like a singular part. But at the same time, it doesn't explore into every possible thing that could have gone down. Okay, now, it has been a while since I watched Steven Universe. I should probably go, like, refresh my memory on a few things, but I do remember key parts, and I do remember some significance of some episodes. But this here is what if Steven had his diamond powers from birth. And I actually forgot I did make this series, and it was a comment on my latest YouTube video that reminded me to make this. Let me show you guys that right now. Alright, guys, here I am. So the video this was on, well, is what if what if Gohan became the main character. It's a good video, by the way. You guys should go watch that. Anyway, as you guys can see, it is DD42672. And it is what if Steven Universe had his diamond powers from birth. And my reaction was simple. Consider it done now. And so, DD42672, you know who you are. Shouts out to you. Thank you for reminding me of this video. Anyway, hold on. Let's get back to it. I still got a few more things to say. Okay, so upon Steven having his diamond powers from birth, you're going to see a significant change in the goddamn story. But before we even get into the story, I will say this right now till the day I die. And if you got a problem with what I'm about to say here, you can fight me about it. Guys, I'm about to go on a rant, so here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hold on, before I do, let me change the picture real quick. I just want to show the significance of what I'm about to say. Okay, sorry. Just wanted to show this. For the sake of me going on this rant, it's about to be significant. Anyway, let's go now. 3, 2, 1. Steven is bitch made. I don't care what anybody has to say about it. I'm going on a rant. Steven is premium bitch made in the story. It annoys me to no end that this man even after going through training with Connie cannot fight worth a damn. He cannot defend himself worth shit if he needs to. Oh my god. Dude, look, and some of you, I understand. Steven is not a fighter. He's not one for conflict. He's not one for any this or that. Bro, he's moving like he's Blue Diamond in here. All this crying, all this emotional ass BS. And yes, I know Steven Universe wouldn't be what it is without all the emotional wrecks and everything. But come on. Like, a quick fight could solve a lot of stuff, man. It really, really could have. And you guys cannot lie on this. Most of the stuff Steven had survived was due to his, like, gem hybrid nature and by sheer luck. Just sheer luck, man. Because I'll tell you this. Okay, let me tell you this right now. When the crystal gems first got captured by Jasper, what guarantee did Steven have that he could have phased through that goddamn shield? Because if it wasn't a gem shield and an actual physical shield, like an actual barrier that Steven could not get through, they would have been screwed. There are so many times where they would have been screwed in so many situations had Steven not been what he is. Like the destabilizers. Thankfully, his human half is a physical form. So, woo! Well, it's like fully flesh and blood. So thankfully they survived that. And what else? I'm trying to think. Oh, before that, the Lapis Lazuli situation. Steven's shield pretty much came in clutch there. And the thing is, there was no guarantee that Lapis would have stopped fighting. Steven just screamed that he didn't want to fight. But what was stopping Lapis from legitimately just overpowering them? Nothing. Because Lapis was just straight OP. Okay, how many other times do I have to go through? I'm still trying to think. Dang, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything right now. Oh, wait, the Spinel fight in the movie. Brother, this right here was... Oh, nah. Okay, because I saw a certain comic that if that scythe was an actual blade instead of a gem-made energy construct. I'm not gonna tell you guys exactly what it was, but that I saw, but shit can go left real quick. But here, my thing is Steven is premium bitch made. This man can't do a damn thing. I said it, and if you got a problem with me, you can fight me about it, obviously. So we're gonna change that story around because Pink Diamond is the one with destructive capabilities, but you got Steven moving like he's Blue Diamond's son here. Man, get the fuck out here with all this. I do not care, man. Premium bitch made. Okay. Anyway, enough of my rant. Sorry, guys. I just needed to get that out of my system. So, let's get into this video. We're going to change this all around right now. We're going to make this story better. So, let's do this. Without further ado, y'all ready? I'm ready. Cue the intro.
Hey Ross, sauce it up. Shit can get dangerous, yeah. Shit can get dangerous, yeah. You staying with a lame beast, yeah. Well, I'm staying with the gang beast, 'cause that's gang shit. Like, ooh, and they gon' stay by my side, 'cause them boys down to ride, yeah. Like, ooh, she tryna play with my mind. I can't be wasting no time, yeah. But them boys.
Okay, everyone, we are here. It is time for the origin story. How did this come to be? How did Steven get his diamond powers from birth, you may ask? Okay. Oh, but before we start the video, I will say this. Be sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Turn those bell post notifications on. It's always free. You can always change your mind later. But it does let me know that you guys actually like and want to see more of my videos. And if you guys want to see more of this series, get this video to actually, you know what? We're going to aim for a higher like goal because I saw what Chaos Deku did. If you guys want a Diamond Steven Part 2, let's get this video to 10 likes. Let's arrive at the 10 like mark. Let's do this, everyone. I know we can do this. Also, try to get more YouTubers to do this video, to do this series I'm making. This is an original idea, by the way. So, what if Steven had his diamond powers from birth? Get other YouTubers to do this, because I know I'm not the best storyteller, and I stutter a lot, and some other YouTubers could make up the story better than I could. But hey, it's always a good idea to get more of an idea fleshed out there. Anyway, let's continue. All right. So how did this come to play? Well, it's quite simple, actually. Upon Rose giving birth to Steven, something unorthodox had happened that even she nor, well, anyone could predict, because Steven is the, well, first ever hybrid. So, hey, I can pretty much just say fuck all with this story if I really wanted to, and just go and take any direction, because there really is no concrete way how this happened. So, let me do this. Rose, upon giving up her physical form for Steven, it's, well, kind of a very complicated story, because it was this. Upon Rose giving up her physical form right then and there in that moment, she could feel something wrong with Steven, the baby at the point. The baby could not survive off of just her rose quartz abilities. The baby needed more substance in order to completely balance out, with it being the first hybrid. And we know upon Steven having his gem removed causes his body to like fail and like shut down or something. We don't know why or how that works, but we're just gonna say that's how it's doing that right now. And the like Rose quartz gem is not enough to sustain it. So Rose needs to do something in order to keep Steven alive and actually functioning. So sadly, upon giving up her physical form right here, she had to physically twist her gem back in order to the diamond state in order to give Steven that that extra push to keep him alive. And I know what some of you guys might be saying. Is this Steven diamond powers like this kind of the same thing? Well, yes and no. Because I think Steven needs to actually do something else for his diamond powers to activate. Because it's just Rose quartz abilities based right then and there. I don't really like that. So Rose's gem twists all the way back into like the pink diamond state. And then finally, Steven is born. Also, if you guys look at the picture right here, Steven's hair is like, well, slightly pink on one side. So we're going to do that. His hair is, well, blackish brown. Black, whatever the heck it is in the canon. Blackish brown in the regular show. But like on the other side, it is like pink all the way. And the gems, Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl are left, well, Garnet and Amethyst are wondering what the heck is happening. Why is this happening? What is this? And oh boy, Pearl would be shaken upon the upon like what had happened, and it had gotten a reset. And Garnet would go through the you knew option. So okay, Pearl, upon the secret being exposed, can't really keep it contained anymore. So she has to say something now. So she would go through that like state that she did in the original, like, but it's extremely early in the very beginning. She would tell the gems everything. And Garnet would immediately break down right then and there, and Ruby and Sapphire would be separated. Now, we would still have that Sapphire breaking down in an instant. Like, she lied to us, I let her play us all. But Sapphire would be really angry at Pearl, like, for the reason, like, what was all this for? All the friends we had made, like, that they've been shattered or captured and shattered back on Homeworld, that we lost. Everything that we've ever fought for was all a lie. And Sapphire ran off and everything, so, okay. So Garnet still has that little falling out thing, like, extremely early, but this is baby Steven, so it's not like he can pretty much do anything at this point in time. So, Greg is left wondering what's happened, and Pearl has to explain the story to, well, Greg and Amethyst, because Amethyst didn't really know, and she was never in the war, so it's not like she's pretty neutral on the ground right now. She's neutral ground, but she is still pretty upset and hurt that this is going on. So, after the whole explanation from Pearl that Ruby was there, okay, so, whoo boy. It's gonna have to be, like, way later until Steven is like, okay, so how does the Garnet situation get revolved without Steven in here to mix this up? I'm gonna say it will have to be, like, all the gems plus Greg coming to comfort Sapphire. Because things like this just cannot be blown over. Pearl would apologize, classic cartoon apology. But Sapphire would still be very, very much deeply upset and because deeply hurt by all of this info. So they would go back to being Garnet. And it wouldn't be out of reluctancy either. It is their choice to still be Garnet because I'm gonna say because of Greg being being like one of those cartoon dads and everything, he would just say one of his catchphrases or one of those crazy wise lines that some parents be doing. Well, mostly dads. He would just give a wise line to Ruby and Sapphire, and they would choose to be Garnet out of their choice. But the marriage thing wouldn't actually happen. It was originally Steven's idea. So, okay, this thing is going to have to happen really early. So, okay, the early baby Steven episodes would still happen the same. I mean, there's really no changing that because, well, he truly is just, well, himself at this point. Okay, so a story would just have to begin in the original Cookie Cat or whatever the heck, that episode was. Okay. Oh wait, I almost forgot to mention this. How did I almost forget? Okay. So, it would have to be this. Since Steven is a baby and he has his diamond powers off rip, and babies are emotional and crying right now, Steven's powers kick in immediately, and the gems have to do their best to keep Steven happy and laughing and not whizzing out. So actually a 2 to 3 year old Steven, and it's like 13 to 14 Steven. So Steven off rip Steven from birth has to actually be trained in this AU. I know, shocking, right? Steven getting training right now. But you guys gotta think about it. Look at Beach City almost getting destroyed by everything. Steven, who's a diamond, whose powers can literally just mess up their whole planet on accident, by the way, and he doesn't know how to control them. Yeah, he would have to get training from Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl. Even someone like Amethyst who has to take this seriously because Steven can hurt the gems and her, and even Greg if he's not careful. So even Greg has to pitch in sometimes, but Steven is allowed to still have his normal life. The gems aren't putting any pressure on him, nor is Greg. They still love the kid with all their heart and everything. They just want him to be. They're doing this so he can be extra careful. Like, hey, you have these powers, but nobody else does. Not even we have these kinds of powers, so you have to learn to reel them back in sometimes, so you don't accidentally destroy stuff or us. So Steven's life does not really change that much. He just has to have training early on, from a very early age to get his powers under control. And the thing is, they do tell him about Rose. I mean, from what they right then, and Pearl would tell Steven about Pink, who his mom truly was, Pink Diamond. But Garnet and Amethyst and Greg would say they knew her as Rose. But hey, it's still a thing. Greg still didn't really care that much whether she was Rose or Pink Diamond. He still loved her all the same. But Steven would know about his powers from birth. Number one, he has oh my god, his physical strength is just insane. Now, I believe in something like this. Guys, give me 1 second. Okay, so Wait, god dang, what was I gonna say before? Ah, crap, I actually forgot about that. But this is how Steven's training would go. He can realize, yes, he can pull up the pink diamond shields. It's not the rose quartz shields anymore. It's the pink diamond, like, crystal shields that he can pull up. And these things, and since Steven's been training from a very young age, these things are damn near unbreakable as he gets older. And it's very scary on how many powers Steven does have. Because, well, as you can see, the pink diamond shields, but not only that, I don't really know how he made this, but my thing is, since Steven is the destructive diamond, he could just be more creative with what he does. So I will hold nothing back when it comes to these fights now. Okay, but when it comes to this, oh yeah, you know what, just because Steven's eyes are also pink diamond shaped. So there's really nothing to holding him back from all of this. Pretty cool. But he also figured out his ability to slow time, almost to a crawl, and even stop it on a few occasions. Steven is like extremely powerful, and the fact that it was never explored on more in future just disgusts me. So we're gonna make a lot, and I know what you guys might be saying. If Steven knew his diamond powers from birth, wouldn't that negate a lot of the fights going on? Yes, but I will still try to make a compelling story so that way you guys are not bored with this. So don't worry. Okay, hold on. Let me keep going. Oh wait, yeah, I got it now. So, being trained off from a very early age, Steven's influence is definitely come off on him, as he's definitely grown to be a very skilled fighter at this point. Okay, let me explain. He's elegant like Pearl when it comes to agility and, well, nimbleness, but he's definitely a powerhouse like farther than Garnet could ever go. Because here's the thing, is what makes Steven so special. He is also still half human. The ability to adapt and evolve and also get stronger and progressively get stronger and stronger. This is my thing, because Rose says this to Greg in a memory. When gems come out of the ground, they already know what to do and they're programmed to do what they do. That means that they're set with a certain level of strength and they cannot go past that. They are born with these limits and they just have to deal with them. But Steven is a different case. That's our ability as human to adapt and evolve and basically push our limits in order to get stronger. And that's what Steven has here. So Steven would, I'm gonna say because of his diamond nature and his human-like ability to, well, evolve as well, this would influence him and his powers would come out. So Steven would grow strong very quickly shooting past Amethyst and Pearl in strength, and hell, he would even spar with Garnet. And I mean full-on clashing his own fleshy fist, well, it would be wrapped, his own wrapped fist with Garnet's gauntlet. It started out with her fist at first, and then it became her gauntlet. As Steven would just off-rip be extremely strong and going past Garnet in terms of strength. Not knowing what else would be happening, Steven would continue his training, and he would be extremely skilled. The most skilled fighter of the Crystal Gems. But Steven would be more of a okay, he wouldn't be a brawler in this state, but he would want to learn something more. So you guys know how UG fights from JJK. That's pretty much how Steven would be fighting, a martial artist type of way that can beat the heck out of you if you're not careful. Also, Steven isn't really super short in this AU. He's actually a lot taller. Because his mom being a diamond, he would naturally just, well, be taller. Alright, now we can cut to the beginning of the story. Cookie Cat, here we go. Steven would still scream out, "No!" like normal, but instead of the earthquake being cinematic, it's actually real. What? How can they stop making them? And, he goes on that whole rant, and Lars would be on, part with him saying, "Why don't you make someone your magic belly button?" And that's not the way it works. Right? Nah, that's not the way it works. And here we go. Steven, wait, hold on, what is it? Oh, Sadie, yes. Sadie, I almost said Katie, oh my god. Sadie would offer Steven, to keep the fridge, and he would nod. So Sadie would just give it to him, because they would be replaced with lion liquors. And here we go. Got it. So, Steven would come home, he would find the house filled with centipedes and everything, and Steven would just be irritated, like, ugh. Now, because Steven's powers are just so, well, out there, I can just be more free with what he does. Steven lifts up like these centipedes with telekinesis, by the way. He coats them in like a pink aura. Okay, wait, hold on, yeah. Nah, I can do this. Steven is coated in a pink aura, and he lifts all the centipedes up and squeezes his hand, and they just all poof. And Amethyst realized that these things don't have gems. That means there must be a mother somewhere nearby. Huh. As Steven goes now to, well, put the fridge, the mini Cookie Cat fridge by like the, on the counter by the refrigerator, he would open the freezer and see the Cookie Cats in them. Like, where'd you get these? I thought they stopped making them. Well, we heard that too, and since they're a favorite, we went out and stole a bunch. I went back and paid for them. The whole thing was my idea. It was everyone's idea. Not really. All that matters is that Steven is happy. Oh, he's a frozen treat with an all-new taste, because he came from this planet through outer space, a refugee of an interstellar war. But now he's at your local grocery store. Cookie Cat, he's a pet for your tummy. Cookie Cat, he's super duper yummy. Cookie Cat, he left his family behind. Cookie Cat. Now available at Curtains every 109. I don't even know why I did that whole rap, guys. I'm sorry, that was probably cringe AF. Hey, but it's cool that I actually remember it. Okay, but Steven said he was going to save these right after he eats this one. Now, as he would eat it, we wouldn't get the gem glow thing like we do in the beginning, sadly. Because, well, obviously, Steven already knows how to use his powers, and he's pretty goddamn OP, too. This guy is, like, very, very scary when it comes to his powers. But instead of keeping them in the freezer so they aren't filled up, Steven grabs the Cookie Cats and puts them back in the fridge. But also, he gets the idea to recreate Cookie Cats from scratch right then and there. Because if they're going to stop making them, he might as well try his own hand at it. So, with that being said, Steven's has gotten the ideas already to recreate Cookie Cats. Nice. Until they hear a growl outside, and it is the mother centipede. Huh, nice. So, oh wait. I'm trying to think upon this right now. Okay, so as the centipede would be outside by now, the gems would, okay. Gems and Steven, because by the way, Steven can fight. He knows what to do at this point. Okay, he hasn't been on missions as of lately, because the gems still do their own thing. Steven still stays at the house, but he still keeps his training up. He still keeps his skills sharp in case they do need him one day. Okay. So as the other gems plus Steven goes out to fight the centipede, the gems like do actually, well, oh, I'm not going to say they're stronger. Well, they probably would be, but they more skilled. They have more skill in terms of fighting, because having to fight a diamond off rip for years at this point would make them a bit more skilled in terms of combat, and they haven't really lost their edge in terms of war. Well, they have somewhat, but not all the time. But here we go. So now as they fight the mother centipede, like honestly, they poof it like they one-shot the thing easily. And it gets bubbled, and whoop, there we go, it's gone now. Okay, so what's the next very significant episode? Okay, hold on. I think it would be when we're introduced to, well, nah, because we already are introduced to Greg. I don't really know any goddamn conflict. Oh, I remember now. Okay, so how this would work would be kind of insanity, would be kind of crazy. It would be the, Cat Trouble, when the shape-shifting episode. God dang, that episode gave me nightmares when I first watched it. But actually, this is where one of the very crazy significant changes are going to happen. Now, how would this work? It would be Steven, like, looking at Amethyst shape-shifting, just spending time with Greg. God dang, because I can't really remember any significant crazy, times as of right now. So it would have to be the cat shape-shifting episode. Okay. So as Amethyst would be shape-shifting and all that, Greg would be, like, worried about the magic stuff. Is there going to be an explosion? Oh, wait, no. It would be the laser light cannon. What am I tripping about? Okay. So it would be that. So this is where we would originally meet Greg, but we've already met him in the goddamn beginning. But hey, since we're following story narrative, Greg would be met during this one, laser light cannon. So everybody would be upon seeing like the fry bits and everything, and as they would come up. Stephen would look through the telescope and see the red eye coming towards the Earth, and how are we going to deal with it? The gems honestly don't know because they don't really have anything to stop this here. Crud. Okay, so Garnet would tell him about the laser light cannon, and Stephen would think that his dad would probably have it. Your dad's kind of a mess, Stephen. Amethyst. Like, even if he did have it, he probably broke it or lost it or dropped it in the ocean by now. True. Now, Stephen, does take up for his dad here. Yes, dad may not be a gem, maybe a gem, but he still has his moments of being reliable. Don't completely count him out just yet. All right, fine, but if he has it, then we're going to count on you to get it. All right, sure. As Stephen says, I'll be back soon. As immediately he stops time at this point. He's so fast that he can stop it. And he completely blitzes off. He's gone. So they actually have a little bit more time than usual, but it's still not that much. So anyway, here we go. Stephen would go and talk to his dad again, and he would ask his dad about the laser cannon. And okay, you would see and so Greg here would just go on his stick about how he met Rose, pretty much all of that stuff here. Nothing too bad, nothing too crazy. They find the laser light cannon, they destroy the eye. Okay, now what would be next? I can't really think of anything too nuts. I guess it would be the cat episode, so yeah, we're just gonna skip to that. If I skipped anything significant, I'm sorry guys, it's been a while since I watched Steven Universe. So don't come at me in the comment section. So, okay, as Amethyst would show Stephen shape-shifting like usual, Stephen will want to try it himself. So, okay, instead of this being a freaking crazy nightmare fuel goddamn episode, what happens here is that Stephen's diamond powers are actually, very significant in his growth. So, with this being said here, when Stephen tries to shapeshift, he actually pulls it off. And I don't mean just his finger, I mean he shapeshifted his whole body into a living cat. How the heck he did that is insane. But he goes off to show every single gem and his dad that he actually can do it. And you guys might be asking, how is Stephen able to do this? Doesn't he have bone structure and organs and all that? Yes, he does. But because of his gem half, which is significantly stronger because of his diamond nature, it's able to manipulate his bones and kind of turn him into a... Stephen is pretty much like pottery, like clay or whatnot, and his gem is pretty much the hands and the sculptor. So Stephen can actually shapeshift as much as he wants right now. He can turn into weapons, lip organisms, pretty much anything he can put his mind to here. So hey, nice. It's a really cool and nice episode that we got. Okay, but I'm just doing off these little skit episodes. Nothing really too insane. But, I mean, there's really nothing except Stephen being straight up silly in this one. Oh, but there's also the Sea Spire episode. Okay. Now, here we go. Now, Stephen would want to go on missions with the gems as well because he's tired of being left out of missions all the goddamn time. So, this would be a test of the Sea Spire. Oh god, this would be funny. Now, Stephen in this AU has no reason to leave the Sea Spire behind. Oh, crazy enough, the gems also have taught Stephen a few gem techniques as well. So, what do I mean by that? Pearl had taught Stephen, his gem can be like a mini pocket dimension if he needs it. So, Stephen had actually learned how to pocket things in his gem. Garnet, I don't really know what Garnet could teach Stephen because there's not really much. Or Amethyst. Oh wait, I remember. Amethyst had taught Stephen how to do that Sonic the Hedgehog ripoff thing. So that little spin dash that Amethyst does, Stephen actually can pull that off too. And just like Jasper, whenever Stephen does it, he lights on fire. And keep in mind, okay, it's a bit harder for Steven to control at first because he has to control the speed at which he goes because he can literally stop time or he can light himself on fire. But not only that, Steven can ricochet off things if he needs to as well, or just straight up change direction. Like if you dodge, Steven can just literally bounce right back after you and break the sound barrier while doing it. Oh yeah, that also means Steven learned how to float early on. But not only float, straight up fly. Because remember, when he was fighting Jasper in Future, he wasn't just floating, he was legitimately just flying. Create constructs, all that stuff here. So here we go with this. How would this work? Oh yeah, the Sea Spire. Steven would contain the actual Sea Spire in his gem. So when they would go through this mission, Steven, okay, he still would be his goofy self because of his dad, but he would also have a slight serious edge. Because remember, his gem can really hurt people if he's not careful and if he doesn't know control. Even though he controlled it now, he still does his training and he takes it seriously. So when it comes to, well, saving the Sea Spire, they actually do that nicely. What would be the other significance in this? God dang, I haven't watched Steven Universe. Okay, I'm sorry guys, but I think we're gonna have to end this right here because this is early Steven Universe and I just really am lost in terms of how to progress the story. I know I could just do every single major thing, but I don't want to do that. I actually want to flesh out the story very well for you guys. So to do that, we're going to end the story right here. I'm going to catch up on Steven Universe. That way I can bring you guys a more compelling story next time. 10 likes and I will continue this video. But you guys already know what to do at this point. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Peace, guys!
I'm with your hoe in the house on the hills, yeah. I'ma keep it real at the sacrifice and try to get my bands up. Shorty wanna fuck with me, she see me on the camera. She said she in love with me, but really I can't stand her. She just want part of this life cause she see me on the ground. Double tap like who I am. She can get dangerous, ride with a blam. She can get dangerous, she can get dangerous.